We're going to be on the sheep shearing stage and
Ooh,
encourage and hopefully get the visitors and the guests to get involved with some line dancing.
that because that's both of those sound amazing. Helping people of all walks of life, all stages in their lives, and you don't have to be great at dancing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sphere of Success, the podcast that looks at challenge and adversity in business and how we can make the very most of that. Because sometimes, it's not easy, is it, being in business? Lots of things come up that we expect and the unexpected as well. And it's all about how we handle that to best advantage for ourselves, for the business, and for others as well. And today I've got the most amazing guest. It's Katie Geddes from the Dance Studio Leeds. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of an intro about Katie so that you can know all about her. And I know that Katie's going to be talking about herself and what she's doing as well. So, Katie Geddes is the founder and director of the Dance Studio Leeds, one of the city's most vibrant and inclusive creative hubs. She opened the studio in 2009 with the mission to make dance accessible for everyone, from complete beginners, well, that'd be me, to seasoned professionals, and has since built a thriving community that champions well-being, creativity, and connection. With a background in dance teaching, choreography, and community arts, Katie has grown the studio from a single idea into a multi-studio space, offering from over 40 weekly classes. No wonder you stay in tip-top shape, Katie, whizzing around all over the place. I know you've got a team as well. She deals with workshops and rehearsal facilities as well. Her work extends beyond the studio walls through initiatives like Let's Dance Leeds and workplace wellbeing programs that bring movement into corporate and community settings. Wow, that sounds so amazing, Katie. From that little seed in 2009 to now, you've come an awfully long way, haven't you?
Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'd just love to know to begin with, what was the original spark that really got you on your journey?
Do you know what it was? I always fancied myself having a little mini pineapple dance studios. I don't know if you are aware of that one in London, but Debbie Moore was a huge inspiration for me. And I was like, gosh, I'd love to recreate my own like version of that in Leeds. And yeah, that's kind of where it's all sparked from, really. And yeah, we've took lots of inspiration from them over the years, and then we've adapted and evolved into what we're very passionate about, and that's with the dance for health and well-being. And yeah, and that's where we are now today.
Oh, that's great. And I hope you don't mind me saying, but you're a busy mum as well. So, for anybody listening that has, it's a luxury, isn't it? If you just have all the time in the world and that you're not stretched all over the place. So, perhaps you could let us know what's it like having a family to run, and men and women. It's not just us ladies, is it, that run families? Um, how do you cope with building and scaling and driving a successful business and actually having that home life balance?
Yeah, it's quite tough, admittedly. Some weeks I'm definitely more winning, and other weeks I'm a bit like the plates are spinning and dropping a bit. But yeah, I mean, I've got two children. One is 10 and one is 7. And I feel like I have a full-time job, and then I'm taxi service in the evenings. So it's a bit of a juggle. But yeah, I mean, I have an incredible team that support me, and they help run the day to day. And I've got lots of teachers that deliver for me as well. So that helps to obviously alleviate the pressure a lot. So I'm very lucky and fortunate to have a really incredible team that support me. So yeah, that helps a lot. And then trying to be organized. My 2026 goal is I've getting my diary out and getting my shifting or everything every day today and planning in advance. I'm trying to up my game with that so I can be a little bit more on top of things and keep the plates going.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, I know. I can feel your pain from here. I can understand that. But good teams don't happen by accident. So I'd love you to let us know a little bit about how you got that team together and how you've really made that into such a high performance autonomous team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky actually because one of my colleagues, she's been with me for over 10 years. I've had another lady that's been with me for nearly 8 years. So very fortunate that that I've got such long-standing staff, which is obviously really helpful in running the day to day and moving forward. But I mean, one lady, she came from a work experience, Jess. So she was a student at university, came to do work experience with me, and then became part of the team. And she's stayed with me ever since. And I like to think that we create a very nice environment for people to work. I try and be as supportive as I can as to what they want. They're all part-time, so try and be supportive that they've obviously got other things that they want to do alongside that, and hopefully that all helps to, make it a nice, accessible place that people want to stay and carry on working with me. So, but yeah, it's a fun environment to be in a dance studio. We have lots of people coming in, and it's full of laughter and energy, and I think that helps as well.
Oh, that's great. And you mentioned the inclusivity there. You are all about well-being and helping people of all walks of life, all stages in their lives, and you don't have to be great at dancing or indeed have a passion for dancing to really get something out of the business. And you said from the business's perspective, you want to encourage more corporates, more businesses, and more local businesses to come and use that for various activities. What would you say was one of the main benefits or some of the main benefits that you would have as a business in actually having some sessions with your people actually in the dance studio?
I think the biggest thing that it can provide is the social connection. And I think some of the challenges can be that teams are often hybrid or remote working. And I think, especially in that setting now, since COVID, with that split of where people are working more so, I think the dance is so powerful to bring people together, and that sort of sense of cohesion and working together and team bonding is how we can really support. And I mean, I had one feedback from something last week, and they messaged me the next day and said, my cheeks are still hurting. I was laughing and smiling so much at the event that she messaged and said, oh, my cheeks are still hurting. So it's that sense of release of joy and energy. And like you say, you don't have to be, most people who went to that event said to me, I've got two left feet, I can't dance. And I was like, well, that's fine. It's about just trying, having a go and enjoying it. And it's so much more about that than it is about getting it right or getting it foot perfect. It's all about, the joy that the dancing brings. And that's the real kind of, the extra specialness about dance and how it's so powerful.
And I can imagine it gives you an amazing topic to talk about with your colleagues as well when you go back into the office or that you're back into working from home, in that can actually share in all the experiences that you had while you were there in the sessions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we love sharing stories of how people have got on, and so and so have gone back to their team and said, oh, how amazing it was. Or then another event we did, and they were like, oh, we're still talking about it weeks later. And it's that sense of experience that they've shared together, which is why it's so powerful, I think.
And also just helping businesses to think, well, why would we want to put people into the studio to have that experience? How does it help people perhaps to think differently and to do things differently than because you're putting them into an unknown situation, an unusual situation? Has that helped with people's skills from problem solving and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's lots of elements where dance is really great because it's not only it's obviously the movement and you're getting all the endorphins from the exercise and the physical elements of it, but you're also engaging your brain in such a different way when you're doing dancing. And so it really helps to boost creativity and being adapting to movement. So there's a lot of sense of improvisational skills that are involved with dancing. Um, it's getting your cognitive thinking working differently about being in a different space, but it's very important that you make people feel at ease and comfortable. So that's very much part of our job in making people not feel, oh, this is out of my comfort zone, and putting them at ease from the start and saying, look, it's fine if you've never danced before. And the end goal is not, don't worry, again, like I say, if you're not doing it for perfect, or that those elements are obviously nice to have bits of it, but as experience, if you can get it all perfect, lovely, happy days. But that's not really the point of it. So it is about making people feel comfortable and that they don't have to feel experienced at dance already. And if they are sort of in a space where that's a bit new for them, it is sort of like making them feel as relaxed as possible. And that's where movement again is really helpful because in general, the movement and the dance and the music connection also is a great stress reliever. It's great for reducing anxiety. It's great for regulating regulating your nervous system and things like that. So once they start the movement and they feel more at ease and things like that, that helps to, settle everyone down as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. And who would you say though are the most unusual teams that have come into the studio that you thinking, wow, that's really cool that they've come in?
I'd probably say, oh, most unusual. I mean, we've had literally all walks of ages, genders, different business types. But we have had the Yorkshire cricket team in, and they were a good laugh. We've had the ladies team and the men's team multiple times. And they were so fun. They just like threw themselves all in. They were like fully committed to the theme of what we were doing. And yeah, it was so lovely. It was so lovely to see them all just like that camaraderie and that sense of again, teamwork of them coming together and having a go was fantastic.
Oh, I think that's amazing. And as far as having people of all different types, as you've said, and different abilities, do you have to be able-bodied to join in the class, or can you have people with disabilities?
Yeah, I know. I mean, if we know in advance, we can tailor and bespoke sessions to what people's needs are. So if people can't physically get up and do it, standing, for example, there's lots of variations we can do where it's more of a seated exercise and they can get involved with more arm movements and less around the leg movements, for example. So yeah, we try and adapt it and make it as accessible as we possibly can. That's very much an important consideration for us.
Lovely. And do you have anything like hen dos and things like that come into to have a good blast in the dance studio?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. We get quite a lot of hen groups. We've had stag groups as well. We get people come for birthday celebrations. So anything from, yeah, like younger age group to people coming to do something for their 60th birthday celebration. So yeah, all different groups, WI groups, sports groups, teams. Yeah, all different groups.
Oh, I certainly suggest everybody be in touch with Katie because I could imagine it's her right laugh, but actually seriously thinking about how it can actually help think differently, add that joy. You're breathing in, you're listening to the music, as you said, and that's really uplifting because life at the moment, for a lot of people can be a real struggle. And to get those few moments to actually relax and just switch off to something entirely different than what you would be doing normally and get you moving as well, which I think is fantastic. Any corporates looking out there, any Hindus, anybody thinking we want to have a party at Casey's, then I definitely recommend that. Sounds fantastic. Really good. And yes, from that point of view as well, you've got lots of different people coming in. Obviously, you don't just have one studio, you've got multiple studios. So my next question is going to be, how do you manage with all these different studios? You're in a converted mill, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. So we're in a converted textile mill, just on the fringe of Leeds city centre, and we've got we're doing undergoing some developments at the moment actually. So we're about to open a bit of a new space, which is very exciting. But so that will mean we'll have 5 studios in total. So that's going to be a big year for us to be able to expand that out. But yeah, I mean, they're all different sizes, so they accommodate different groups. So some are very much like little one-to-one studio, and then we've got like much bigger group studios. But we also go out and about into the community a lot. So we collaborate with lots of different venues as well, on different events. So this year we're going to be at the Great Yorkshire Show, which is really exciting for
Oh,
us.
wow.
And so we go out to different events like festivals as well. So whilst we have a base in our hub in Leeds, we very much like travel out and about to where people's needs are and where their teams are or where their events are happening. So we go to like hotels, for example, for team building events. we've just done one in more like a local village hall. So yeah, we the venues and locations dictated by the client needs usually. But yeah, as our central hub, we have like weekly day in, day out sort of classes that are located at our actual studios as well.
Well, I love that you actually go to where the people are as well. So you're outbound as well as taking people in. That's fantastic. So if an office or a business is thinking, yeah, we'd really like to get a team of people, what kind of venue is a great space for them to think about holding what you do in?
Yeah, I think the main consideration really is the size. So if they've got a large group of people, whether they split them into smaller teams. So we've done that before where we had a group and there was 100 colleagues and they split themselves into four different teams and then had a bit of a dance off at the end, which was really fun, added a different dimension to the event. So it's really just thinking about the size of the group and then how then the respective size of space that they might need for that group. So a large open plan space is usually the best. But we can obviously advise groups on that if they're not sure and they've got a location in mind and we can sort of, check out the logistics with them. Some events are outside as well, so can be like in a big field event, things like that. So it varies very much so. But yeah, if anyone's not sure or anything like that, we can always assist with that and give them a bit of an idea and a guide. But hotels are quite common for team building, for example, or like barn conversion type hall spaces and things like that.
Oh, interesting. And you do it actually outside as well, because of course, if it's you're going to, you're saying the Great Yorkshire Show.
Yeah.
So that's fabulous that you're going there. When is it that, by the way?
That one's in July, so early July it is, yeah.
Early July, and we're now in 2026 for anybody who's listening, just in case you listen
Yeah.
to this later and think, oh, this year it's in July, they've changed it. And so what will you be doing there?
So we're going to be on the sheep shearing stage and
Ooh,
encourage and hopefully get the visitors and the guests to get involved with some line dancing.
sounds amazing. That's fabulous. So the whole family can get involved on that one.
Absolutely, yeah, 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 yeah. And the line dancing is great. It's very accessible. It's very easy because it's got lots of repeats and usually quite a few movements that are similar that come round again. So it's a really great social dance style as well, and it's having a bit of a heyday again at the moment, which is lovely to see. So yeah, I'm all fan for the hoedowns.
Oh, I heard actually as well. Yeah, you were saying that it's come back again, because there was a big thing and then it went off and now it's come back.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. I think Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and all the kind of festival culture and the fashions all kind of trickled in. So it's definitely given it, and country music's having a bit of a boost up. So, but yeah, I love it. It's really great fun. So we get a lot of inquiries for the team building actually for line dancing. So, because of that reason, you don't have to be like super high fitness levels necessarily, or it's quite easy, repetitive movements. So it's great as a beginner dancer to start off with something nice and, fairly straightforward that they can all get their heads around and get to grips with. And the social element of it is great as well. It's very powerful when you've got a mass group of people all dancing together doing the same thing. That sense of social cohesion and connection is really powerful. So, yeah, it's really good.
Oh, that sounds like amazing fun. So get yourselves off to the Great Yorkshire Show in July, get onto that sheep shearing stage and get some line dancing going. And if it were me, I'd be going left when everybody else is going right. And I'd be just not very
It's all good.
coordinated. I'd be having a good time, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't be done for the formation. I'd be
that's the main thing. As long as you're laughing and smiling, it's all good.
Oh, that's amazing. And so you've been going for now 15 years. That's a long time.
Yeah,
When you started, what was the sort of the mood of the era 15 years ago for what you do? Was it
gosh.
really like wow, or did you have to really push hard to get your message there?
Oh gosh, yeah, it was. I mean, we started and where we are now. I suppose I didn't necessarily anticipate we'd be where we are now at that point in time. It was all very much kind of let's start, see how we get on, test the waters. It was lots of learning as we went. There was a lot of I'd never ran a business before, so there was just loads of learning in that sense for me as well. And I think we took the approach very much of kind of we'll grow organically, so we'll grow as and when we can, do afford to do things. So we took it quite like no slow progression as throughout the years, but. Um, yeah, in terms of the vibe, back then, gosh, I can't even think what like the era era where we were then, but what was having its heyday back then. Ooh, I feel like street dance was like the real big time of it at that in that time. Like
Okay.
that was the real popular one, which is still is popular, but I think there's others that have kind of yeah, there's definite like waves and trends of like really popular styles, and then they'll go out for a bit, and then will come back in fashion again. Like bar was a big hit, and ballet was a there was a ballet fitness that was a big trend about 6, 7 years ago. Um, so they sort of come in sort of dribs and drabs and go out and then come back in again.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Yes, it's a bit like fashion.
Mm,
You know you're getting old when you think, oh my gosh, for my era, that was the first time it happened.
yeah,
It's just like, and
yeah.
everybody's going back and going, oh, I used to wear that myself back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
Well, it's like
dates
the
me.
line dancing. That's like was that was massive in the 90s. So that that was back in that was when it had a really big heyday back then, and then it sort of trickled out, and nobody really said much about it until it's sort of again come back round again.
Back
So
in again.
yeah, it's like fashion. It is.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I love it. All the costumes with the fringing and
yeah,
everything like that, and the boots.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, fabulous. And obviously you're all about health and well-being and getting yourself into into enjoyment and having fun while you're doing something different. Have you got an example of where dance has helped you with your health and well-being?
Yeah, so I actually had in my childhood actually, I mean it's going back to the line dancing again, but I had some issues with anxiety and mental health at that time. I was probably about 10 at that time. And I actually gave up everything. I gave up all my dancing, all my hobbies, I gave up everything. And it was actually my mum who started the line dancing, who then said, "Oh, come along with me and just sit and watch." And gradually over time, I've started to then dance the line dancing and then helped her out with events with line dancing and then I went back to my local dance school. So it was very it was very supportive for me in terms of helping to rebuild my confidence and self-esteem. And that was a big part that I can relate to. In hindsight, I couldn't have said that at the time. And for many years I still couldn't have made that correlation. But now looking back, I can really see that connection of how I've sort of rebuilt myself back in those teenage years. So yeah, I think it's incredibly powerful for that reason, for helping your mental health. And even now, like if I'm nervous about something or I'm having a really bad day, I'll like put some music on, I'll have a little dance out, and I'll just release all that tension, all that stress, just let it go physically out the body, release it, and I feel so much better afterwards. And yeah, it really is kind of like a little magic formula, really, for if you need to just let it all out, any stress, any tension, any emotions that are pent up, just put your favorite song on, have a kitchen disco, and honestly, do wonders for you.
Well, I think that's just fantastic because you mentioned Taylor Swift. She's got a song, isn't it? Shake It Off.
Yes, yeah,
This whole thing about
yeah.
shaking out the energy, getting it moving. And then
Mm,
when you're listening to music, it takes your mind off what you were thinking about often. So it's very difficult to hold two thoughts in your head at the same time. I think it's now impossible.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that then means that you've removed yourself for a bit and you've shaken it off.
Mm.
With that in mind, the science to it, do you know with dance why that happens? Why is it that, is there something that's going on inside us that makes that as an outcome?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, like when you're generally moving, you're getting your heart rate going, aren't you? So with any exercise, and you're getting the blood flowing, and so on. And then with the dance, you kind of get like a bit of a dopamine hit, and you get that feel good endorphin hit. So that all starts to get released. And then in terms of the helping to reduce like stress levels, that then gets reduced to compensate. And then your anxiety can start to be released because it helps to regulate your nervous system. So that's all kind of happening in the background as you're doing things, and obviously the concentration of what your body's doing, then you're taking your mind away from, it's a distraction if you like, and away from the other thoughts that you're having. So it's all those kind of encompassing things that then are all working together really. Yeah, so there's loads of science to back up how amazing it is. In terms of your ground, you can ground you. If you're dancing, if you're doing things in bare feet as well, that connection to the floor is really helpful for your proprioceptiveness. So, if you just do it in bare feet, even better. Take your slippers off, chunky slippers off, and just feeling that grounding and that earth underneath you. That can really help you feel really like reset yourself into a safer space. And so that's another way of how it works as well. But the music connection's really big as well with dance, which is why I think it gives it perhaps another level to other elements of exercise, because that music and movement connection is also really powerful. Um, in terms of relative to memories, it can be as well. So that's why there's lots of evidence with like Alzheimer's when you play old time music for sort of this generation now. You play old time war music and they relate to the music memory, and so they can quite often recap dance movements and things like that they've learned that they're associated to the music as well. So even though they might have lost other forms of memory, that music and movement connection is still there. So there's loads of really powerful stuff that relate to it.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Because another thing that triggers memory is also smell. That can be a really evocative one, can't it? And yes, and also I think the sound, they say that if people have a stutter, often when they sing, they
Mm,
lose the stutter.
mm.
Interesting, isn't it? That whole
Yeah.
sensory thing and where we store our memories
Yeah, yeah. And
and
the
that.
muscle memory again, isn't it? With the singing, it's the vocal muscles again, it's that probably that potentially I don't know much about the singing connection, but it could be that again it's the muscular connection of the movement, why that might be the case.
Yes, yes, I love that. And music is such an amazing thing. It can lift us, it can change
Mm.
our moods. And then when we put the movement to that, it's very, I suppose it's pretty ancient, isn't it? The whole
Mm.
thing about dance being quite like that ancient thing around the fire. And when we
Yeah,
were all, many hundreds of years, thousands of years ago, and that dancing and that rhythm and
yeah.
everything and movement. Yeah. I love it. And you're very creative and coming up with new things all the time. And what I'd like to also let people know is that you came up with initiatives like Let's Dance Leeds and Lunchtime Boogies.
Yeah.
What, where do you get your inspiration from? What is it that you trigger? Because you're very like going to the Great Yorkshire Show, doing all these different things. It's very creative. How do you tap into that creative energy?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it comes back to community really, and how the dance is so good for community building. So for things like Let's Dance Leeds, that's going into small businesses generally and sort of supporting and showcasing like independent businesses like ourselves, and going to them and having a little dance, usually themed around their business. So it's sort of showcasing what they do. So we've done one with the biscuitery, for example, we who are biscuits that make creating biscuits, and then we've done one with a marketing company, so all different kinds of companies. One was a charity about getting women back into work, and we did a whole Vogue sort of fashion theme with it. So it's sort of it's bringing movement into relation to what they do and showcasing their brand a bit, but then it's the team get involved, so all the staff get involved with it, and then it sort of brings us all together, and it's that sense of sharing our resources and sharing our communities with each other and helping each other to grow. So that's kind of the Let's Dance Leads, and then with the lunchtime boogies, that's very much about trying to support people with everyday movement. So sort of a couple of buzzwords that people use now is like exercise snacks. So where can you find these little tiny like snack windows of time where you could get some movement into your day? And so the lunchtime boogies is an example of that. So it's a bit like a line dance, really, in a way where it's a series of a couple of short moves that you just repeat. So you could quickly look at a video, get your head around those couple of steps, and then put the song on and just dance them and loop them through. And then you could do all of that whilst the kettle's boiling or you're waiting for the document to print. So it's just thinking of these little tiny moments in your day where if you were just going to be stood around or waiting for something, where you could just go, actually, I'll just add a little bit of movement to that. Um, Release any stress if you've been sat hunched over the computer for the last 2 hours, just kind of, release and relax yourself, get the muscles stretching, get some more steps into your day. All it's about finding those quick wins, because appreciate, to get yourself out to a class in a different location, you've got the kids to sort out or your time frames. It doesn't always work to find and carve out full time of, like, say, an hour to go to a class, or practicalities and logistics don't always work, do they? So it's just, where else can you find those quick wins just to give yourself a little bit of a well-being boost and give yourself a bit of an exercise boost in the day.
Oh, I love that. And how do people get hold of that? Because that's both of those sound amazing.
So if anyone wants to collaborate with the Let's Dance Leeds, they can reach out to us on the email, and then you're going to put the contact details on the podcast. Thank you. And then with the Lunchtime Boogies, we put them on our YouTube page and we put them on our Instagram, so they're free. They're all accessible on there, so you can just tap into them, have a watch, and get involved.
And boogie away. I love that. No, doing it at the bus stop or waiting for the train.
Why not? Why not?
Absolutely. And you see these things going viral where, like, you've got the LAPD all dancing to a particular
Oh,
tune and stuff. Everybody likes watching them, don't they? I think they're
yeah.
great too, when those communities sort of like come together and prove as well, that business doesn't necessarily mean it's stuffy. You can have fun at work when it's obviously, it still needs to be professional, but you can actually do something. I can imagine an office, getting their team together to do a uniform dance, together. That sounds amazing. I love that idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and such a great talking point within the firm as well, I should think.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I had a really interesting story, actually, a fun story, where a friend who actually lives locally to me, and I've known her for about 5 years, and I said to her, "Oh, I used to do some things at Asda, which is where she used to work." And I said, "Oh, I did this dance once, and to this song called Hey Ya by Outkast, which you might know." And she said, "Oh my God, I did that dance." And then when we put the dots together, and she's like, "I remember it. I remember we did that song. We did this little shaking it out dance on the stage in Liverpool." And I was like, "Yes, we did." And it was like 11 years ago, this dance that we did, but she still remembered it. And we'd obviously been able to join up the dots. And it was just like, okay, that's where it's really powerful as a memory, and that impactful music movement connection at a conference 11 years ago, and she still remembered it. And that's where I'm like, you see, that's where dance is amazing. So
I
I thought
love
it made
that.
my day.
Oh, I bet. I love that, to be remembered for that. And actually, no, especially if you're somebody like me that's got about four left feet, let alone two, it's just like, oh, I did that. That's a sense of achievement, isn't it? I'm not gonna win any Strictly Come Dancing awards or anything like that, but to have something where you've, perhaps taken part with your colleagues or the group that you're with, and that you actually did something that you can be proud of. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, it was really good. It was really fun reminiscing.
So you're obviously very creative, and sometimes people who are very creative have a problem in actually managing the time between their passion and actually getting the business done from the business angle. How do you make sure that you get everything done in the time frame and the amount that it needs to be done?
Yeah, it is challenging. I think I'm learning and trying to be more strict with myself, if you like, in terms of my time management. And I'm learning to be more efficient, I think, as the years go by. But again, I couldn't do it without my team. They're so incredible, and they really help pick up, like I say, so much of the keeping everything running efficiently on a day to day, and that really helps alleviate some time for me to be working more on the business rather than in the business, as they say, don't they? But it did take quite a few years to learn that. And it was probably actually having my first child where I had to learn to delegate, which really was the turning point with that. Because I think prior to that, it was like, I'll do everything. And then I was really reluctant to delegate. And, but then obviously when I had my first child, I was like, I literally cannot be there 6 days a week and ridiculous hours. So I've got sort of forced me to do it, but it was great because it enabled me to take a bit of a step back, and then from then onwards I've tried to move forward into taking more time so that I can work on things rather than always delivering things. Or so like I have lots of teachers now, that whereas before I did a lot more of the weekly teaching, I've sort of took a bit of a step back from that so that I can have more time to develop the brand and the business and that side of it. So but yeah, you have to be quite strict with yourself, don't you, in terms of where you're putting your time, and don't procrastinate too much. Get on get on with the
Oh,
task.
absolutely. And also, you've got obviously a great head for business as well as the dance. And so over the 15 years that you've been doing this, if you could help somebody, not necessarily starting out with a dance studio, but thinking they want to follow their passion and set a business around their passion, what would be, say, your top advice to somebody like that?
I think first of all and foremost, if you're really passionate about something, go for it. Don't think yourself into not doing it. Like there's always going to be barriers and there was always never going to be a perfect time probably to do it. So I think rule number one, if you want to do it, you just got to go for it and put yourself forward and make it work around other things. So don't inhibit yourself by thinking I can't do it or be negative or anything like that. If you've got the passion, you've got the drive, you'll make it work and you'll succeed if you're passionate about it. Um, and then secondly, I think getting as many resources as you can like help. So there was a thing called, I think it was Business Link at the time, that was around, which I'm not sure if it's called that anymore, but it was lots of resources for how to set up a business. So I did loads of free programs, tried to upskill myself as much as possible. Because like I said, I'd never run a business before. So, all more of the business sense of whether it's from finance to marketing to organizational skills, get yourself a bit queued up on as many things as possible, tap into all those free resources that are out there. And there are lots of programs, which are a lot of banks do programs for startups, for example, don't they? And tap into as much of that sort of thing as you can. And that'll get you off to a bit of a good start. And then try and align yourself with businesses that you can associate with, or that can be a bit of a mentor maybe for you and give you advice and things like that. Because I think always ask people are always willing to offer advice and help if they can. So don't be afraid to ask for help and see if you can get some support or a mentor. They'd be the things I'd say to focus on.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing, Katie. And I know that you're very inclusive. And if anybody is thinking, oh gosh, Katie sounds like she's got it right, I'm sure that they could give you a call and you could have a quick chat with them and put them in the right direction as well, and offer a great class as well for your people to come in and have a session, because there's nothing like a good, strong team, as we said right at the beginning of this show, to actually see that the fact that the business has to run without you, because you can't be in all places and all times, 7 days
Yeah.
a week, 24/7, can you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, getting that emphasis on the dance, getting that team building, etc., I think is an amazing way and a fun way as
Mm.
well to get people really connecting with each other as well. And who doesn't like a bit of a a boogie? I love the
Shimming.
lunchtime boogies. I think, yeah, absolutely. Fabulous. And so, Katie, how can people get hold of you?
So you can find us on our website, which is thedancestudiolevs.com. We are on LinkedIn, which for me is Katie Geddes one. We're on Instagram, which is dance_studio_leads, or my personal one is Katie Geddes Dance. So yeah, if anyone wants to reach out with that, and I know you very kindly said we could perhaps share a link to where we can find the lunchtime boogies, which are primarily on Instagram anyway, or YouTube. And we also have a free PDF. So if that would be okay with you to share, which is just sort of some very introductory tips. So if you're really nervous about dancing, not sure where to start at all, it's like a free PDF with some five sort of top tips of how to maybe start with some social dancing skills. So if you're a bit nervous about getting up on the floor at a wedding or your office party and you just want to kind of a bit of an idea of what a beat is and what sort of thing to do, that's kind of a good starting resource for you. So yeah, that'd be great if we could share that as well.
I think that's great. Great confidence booster if you know that you're not going to make a prat of yourself on the dance floor, or the only ones like, no, I'm not going up. No, and you're just sitting on your own at the table. I've
Oh.
been there many times. I know what
Oh.
that's like. Oh, Katie, thank you. You've been a fabulous guest. Truly appreciate you coming on. So, thank you for sharing your amazing journey and some of the challenges that you've had along the way. But you are running an ace business. I love it. The Dance Studio Leeds, everybody. Get in contact with Katie, and she's just a great lady who has got time for everyone. Somehow, I don't know how you find that to do, but you do. So lovely
Oh.
to have you on the show, Katie. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who's took the time to listen as well. Thank you.
Oh, it's great. And everybody, yes, I'll echo what Katie has said. Thanks very much for listening and watching. It's always great to have you here and be successful. Until next time, we'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye now.
Thank you. Bye.